Bro, I told Kevin, I'm like, yo, we need to put a podcast together, and we got a Cheech involved, and I'm like, yo, I want people to know like who we are, like for real, like this is what things we go through in our personal lives.
You think we could get realer?
Let's get realer.
A breath. Brefo.
Man, it's JD on the beat.
Brefo on the beat.
I make the beat.
What's going on, everybody? Back with another podcast. Welcome back, Jorgito. Welcome back, Jojo. You guys been on the podcast, but for the first time, we got Cheech on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, first time here. Excited.
Let's go.
Yes.
We've been talking about this.
We have. Let me just tell you guys how crazy it's been trying to start this podcast for a couple, for the past and a half.
Oh my God.
So I lost my batteries. Well, I didn't lose them.
You didn't lose them, bro. Tell them the truth.
I forgot it. Okay.
How far into the truth are we gonna get into?
So,
someone might jinx it.
This guy right here. So I usually, I'm pretty good with it, right? Like I learned from my mistakes, right? So today, I don't know what happened. I thought I brought my batteries and I looked in my bag and it wasn't there. So I had to run with Jorgito to Walmart. Walmart doesn't have it, Don't ever try to sponsor me, Walmart, because you ain't getting any credibility from me. Best Buy had it. But then guess what? Get the batteries, and the battery is not even the right battery. So look at that. But hey, we're still doing it. We're still here. So glad you guys are here, yo. Honestly, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you once again. Part 2.
Yeah, shout out to Crave Cave, bro, for real.
Yo, seriously.
Holding us down last minute.
Very patient.
Shout out Julian.
Yeah.
Facts.
Thank you, Julian. So what's up, man? What's been going on? I want to hear from Cheech, yo.
For me,
Facts.
Yeah.
For me, just a lot of hard work, always. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Laying down the groundwork, trying to build something bigger. Bigger than. That's it, really. Just keeping family close, keeping up with good habits.
What's your focus right now? Actually, what's your focus? The year's almost over, right?
Yeah.
So what's your focus going into the new year?
Focus is just a lot more action. Putting action behind words. You know,
I like that.
Saying them out loud, but making sure you're putting that foot forward.
To be intentional.
Yeah.
I guess that's the right word.
100%.
Do you feel like you weren't doing much of that this year?
Nah, I was, but I was doing a lot of self-growth and giving myself, propping myself for the responsibilities I'm about to put on myself. So I did that first, and I'm getting kind of clear with that with myself.
Right.
So it's allowing me to move different and just see things different.
Yeah. Dude, no homo, man. Voice is very podcasty voice, bro. It's real,
It's a good and bad thing. Some people say it's too raspy. I don't know.
It's dope.
I don't hear it.
So, man, Jojo, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was on the podcast last week, right?
Yeah.
Last week.
Yes.
And,
How'd you enjoy that?
it was pretty awesome, to be honest.
Dope.
Yeah, and the first podcast I did, I was a little nervous. The second podcast I did with you, I was all right. Now I'm just flowing with it.
You're flowing with it.
Yeah.
Right. You got to get used to this, man. This guy's going to be, you got big things ahead of you. You got to get used to these interviews, these podcasts and things like this.
Yeah.
So it's good. Now this guy, huh?
What's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
I was on one of the first podcasts.
Yeah.
1 or 3 or 4, one of those.
Yeah.
Great podcast. Go watch it if you haven't.
Yes.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
It was, no.
It was top 5. One of the first 5.
I want to say 3, but I don't know if I'm being true to that.
It was probably one of your most views at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a
That
lot of
podcast was really good, bro. So good.
Yeah, we got real deep. But this is my second time on this. Always support my brother. Yo, I got to first and foremost shout you out because, your consistency and your discipline to stay on top of this and, keeping this a priority. And it's starting to flourish now.
Yeah, bro. I thank you, bro, for those words, man. It's not easy, bro, but consistency builds a habit. And then in that, you also, like, you get confirmations through people seeing the effort and the hard work that you put in, and that keeps you going too. So it's really like fascinating how it works, as you're doing it. But you got to do it. That's the thing. Yeah. Like whatever it is that you want to do, you just need to do it. When you become consistent with something and then you start seeing the result of it, that will really motivate you.
Well, here's the question for you: How can someone start just putting more action? I mean, you said that you started putting more action just recently into what your words and what you're saying. Like, how does, because there's many people struggling out there, like just even getting started, or even making their first soundtrack. You know what I mean? Or even whatever it is, just doing that first thing. How did you start put action behind your word?
Was this for Kevin or me?
Either one of you.
I can answer first. For me, the first thing, and I feel like a lot of people probably deal with it, it's like just kind of like looking past what other people going to think, or if you're not going to fail, not worrying about too much what people think. If you don't make it to the level you're going to make it to, everything's at your own pace. Yeah. You're not in a race with nobody but yourself. And a lot of people try to come out with something and they want it to be like maybe someone they look up to. Like maybe not right then and there it's going to be like that, but if you keep on working at it, keep doing it, it's going to hold weight eventually.
That's true. That's so true.
I feel like a lot of people just like that self-embarrassment, like, I don't know, like someone might see this and be like, maybe I wish I said this and that, but the more you do it, like JD was saying, like it's his second time, he's catching the flow, everything. Like you just got to keep on putting yourself in that room, being uncomfortable, shaping yourself to whatever room it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's facts. Dang, I remember, that reminds me of how the first, and I mentioned this before in another episode, like the first time I ever did a podcast, I did it in my closet, bro. And I did not have the best. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't have the best mic. As a matter of fact, if you listen to that, it's actually, the episode is called The Man Behind the Mic. That was my first ever episode. And you can hear everything in the closet. Like, and I was, like you said, I was just so worried about everything. Like, even if I was to, the mic was so bad that it didn't have a pop filter.
Is that the one you gave to me?
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It wasn't that one.
That one's pretty ass too, though.
Yeah, it's not the best. But it didn't have a pop filter. These have a pop filter, right? So what that means is, like, if you breathe or if you swallow, like, it won't catch it, right? But the other ones, bro, it caught everything. Damn. So I was there and I was like, yo, I gotta edit all this out. So like I would edit every single time I would like swallow or like breathe heavy, because I was like, nah, nobody's gonna want to listen to me. But if you think about it, I started watching other podcasts, and bro, people, like, they're just there and be like, yo, throw me that. And like some guy will throw it, they will hit the table, you'll hear the banging noise. And like, to me, I was like, dang, I didn't want that. I wanted it to be perfect.
Yeah, professional.
Right?
Facts.
And
mad professional.
Right. But then I started learning, like, yo, the best way to do a podcast is natural, number one, right? And it'll get better over time. You'll get the equipment, you'll get the better, the better mics and all that. But as long as you start. If I never started it, we wouldn't be here.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Kev.
Shout out to the Lord for pressing me, and everybody else that pressed me and motivated me to keep it going. Because, bro, I kept putting in the back burner, bro. We all do that.
Yep.
We all do that.
We're all guilty of it.
Right.
And probably even, just thinking of people to interview or get on the podcast was probably like another thing in the back of your head.
Yo, and like, again, when the result is there and people are seeing the fruition of it, people want to tell their story. And one of the slogans and one of the things that I have about this podcast is that I glued to this podcast, the slogan is, everybody has a story to tell, whether we whisper or yell. And that's true, bro. That's the realest thing, So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say for that. Yeah, I'm going to drag Joseph to talk, man. I love how he's like, he's so observant. But
Mr. In the cut.
In the cut.
I'm just listening, taking in everything y'all saying.
I like that.
Because, like, not even, I'm not here just to speak, but to listen to advice that y'all got to give to them and me as well, and anybody in the room. You feel me?
I want your advice, though. I want to know what you got to say to me.
To you?
I need it.
What you want to know?
I need it. What? Okay, so what we're talking about right now, right? Like everything, having to like do something and or like be consistent with it with music, right? For you,
Yeah.
how is that like consistency? How do you feel like you find that?
Well, what you mean? Rephrase it.
Like how do you consistent in your music? Like, do you think about the result? Do you think about like, oh, I got to drop something because people need to listen to it, or like people are feeling my music, but I haven't dropped something, so that pushes you to drop something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
So what drives me to keep
be consistent.
Be
right.
consistent.
Right.
Well, I mean, I want to be better at my craft each and every day. So I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna be fake. I'm not one of those. So like I haven't been really consistent with my music, but I'm still writing. I'm still like learning like the background of music and like learning my sound. You feel me? And like so I just like watch videos and like just learn, you know, because not everybody knows it all, and that's just me. And I still want to learn. I still want to grow, be better at what I do, and to catch a bigger audience and have an impact. You feel me?
Yeah. And the one that you said on the last podcast, he was like, "Yo, my brother really motivates me and pushes me." He's
Oh
right
yeah,
here.
yeah.
He's right here, man. So how did you see that in him? Did you see it before he saw it?
100%. I mean, this kid was always talented. I mean, from dancing, he knows. You know what I mean? Yeah. We used to pay him dance, but then when he started making beats, he used to send me his beats. He's like, "Yo, put this on your Instagram, promote it." And it wasn't there yet, but when he made his first track, it just clicked. You know what I mean? I was on my way here. You know, by the way, I just got here like an hour ago from 24 hours driving from Florida. But on the way here, I was telling my girl Bella, and I'm like, yo, for some reason, every time I think about it, if we're gonna make it, it's not in the back of my head like it's just short. It's a sure thing. Like yo, it's popping.
It's like, more of when we make it.
It's when we make it.
Yeah.
The thought in my head is just not like, yo, we're not. You know what I mean? The only way we fail is when we stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, just bringing it back to when he made his first song, wasn't the best. And he's like, yo, I don't want to put it. I want to put it. Even Painless, his first song, I'm like, yo, I don't want to put it. I'm like, yo, put it, bro. Your first song's not gonna be your best song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't.
And it wasn't. But he got better. I mean, even what he has now, right now, out, is nothing compared to what we have in the vault.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Vault is
in the vault.
Got some hitters.
For sure.
But just to speak on a little bit, when he was younger, it was just like his natural attachment in music. Me and you always like music, dancing around, and it like I don't know with us. I mean,
you too, bro.
Yeah,
you make beats.
Yeah. I used to mess around back in the day,
Wow.
make beats. I was always into music. You know what I mean? I did the marching band thing, drum captain. I have a real deep love.
This kid was like
for-
that.
He was like that, bro.
He was like that, bro.
I was really Nick Cannon in the cut.
He was like that.
You still got that?
I still have an interest for it. I mean, I don't have nearly. It's a lot of practice, bro. I think about it now, how much time I put into like doing that, and it was a lot. But I still got love for it. Like music is just, I can just tell when people really like music because how they listen to it and like how much emotion it brings out of you. You know what I'm saying? This guy, we put anything on, he gets it. You know what I mean? It can be side to side, whatever. And we grew up in a music household, and I just seen the natural attraction. Even me with drumming, he'll come watch me listen. He's like, yo, that's kind of cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? Chopping beats up. He was always around. Like in the cut, same way, just
I remember that.
looking and all that. But he just always had that natural thing with music, the way rhythms hits him and the way like with his music, with his beats now. You know what I mean? I feel like it really it really shows who he is, his heart on
That's
on
facts.
the music. I always say music is so beautiful, and I hate when schools take it away because it's another way to speak, man. Like me being around like kids that were in band and stuff, like these aren't the most loud kids and they can't express themselves like we can. But give them a flute, a trumpet, you gonna feel what they're playing. You're gonna see their emotion pull through, you know?
Right.
And being like performing arts, it's all like what you give out. You're not saying words, you're playing like notes to hit certain spots for people.
Yeah.
And like me being in it and like me seeing people react to music and going to like different music events, like you see like the impact of music, and like he has a connection to music. I think other people.
Bro, I've been to some of his shows. Like it's mad coordination. Like it's not just playing the drums, bro. Like you got to move with your feet, play the drums, freaking form.
Anyone that's done it knows it's crazy. It's like I look at videos now, I don't even know how I did that.
Yeah.
I apologize to everybody in high school that did marching band that I did not respect in that high esteem.
Put respect on their name.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
I
They
see.
really like that.
A lot of dedication too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Discipline. It's a team effort thing too. I think those kids kind of looked at the football kids the wrong way. I'm like, bro, they're doing the same thing as us. We're all working towards to be number one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like our avenue's music, theirs is, you know what I mean, running into each other, whatever it is. You know, like we're all in the same avenue. We all have that same team. Like you're only good as the weakest link. You can't have a crazy football team if somebody playing on the end is bad, or if your quarterback don't got it. Like everyone needs to be all cohesive.
Right,
yeah, they have to be in tune with each other. Like for sure. Like, you know, someone's lacking, you got to be able to pick them up. I mean, same thing goes for business as well, bro. Same thing goes for business as well. You can't have a successful business when some of your employees are slacking, or some of your team members are slacking. Yeah, all got to be in tune. Yeah, all got to be, you know what I mean? You know, just being more disciplined with each other and stuff like that. You know, having that
being
motivation.
accountable, giving somebody a responsibility, knowing that you don't have to worry about them doing it. Because if you're in their position, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. Like a lot of us, you want to be in control of everything, but you have to have a solid team and have a working thing. Like you got to know that if you dish something off, they won't get it done like you do. Just that comfortable level just really brings everyone together. And if there's mistakes made, you guys work within each other.
All right.
Like that's what I got from like the whole marching band thing, and like that thing stuck with me till now, like to where I'm at now, cutting hair in the shop. Like I tell everyone like, yo, you gotta try hard. It's like, oh, but you've been doing it for this long. I'm like, yeah, but I want you to look like you've been doing it as long as me. That's the goal. Like I don't want people to come in the shop and know I've been cutting for 10 years and you've only been cutting for 3.
Yeah.
I want them to come in like, damn, bro, everyone that works in this shop got it.
Right.
That's how I'm pretty sure that's how everyone wants anything to go in life.
That's true.
He's a barber, by the way. He didn't introduce himself.
Cheech the barber.
That's his Instagram
Best barber
too.
in New Jersey.
Facts.
I'm out here trying. We're trying for that.
I want to ask about that. What's your vision with that? Do you want to take it far? Do you want to open up your own shop?
Yeah. Open up my own shop. I'm really big into like team stuff, and like I just want to build on the culture of barbering. You know what I mean? Like I really think what we do definitely deserves a little bit more respect, but that comes with more responsibility for us as barbers. You know, providing a certain service, having a certain way things go. You know, not everyone's gonna be on board, but I think it's a profession that I think everyone sees going on Instagram. Yeah. You see a lot of people going to school or college and dropping out and being really successful. It's a beautiful thing to get into. Yeah. But it takes dedication. Like I was just having a conversation with my client. He's like, yo, how long you been cutting hair? I'm like, you know, it's crazy. After this year, 10 years. Whoa. He's like, damn, for real? I'm like, you want me to be 100% with you too? Out of the 10 years, 6 years, I wasn't sure if this is what I was supposed to be doing.
Damn.
6 years. At least. I'll say like 3 to 6 years. I'm just like,
why is that?
I'll just wake up like, yo, this is really like what I'm about, because you have rough years, like things don't work out, or maybe you see like a little plateau in your clientele. You're like, damn. Or you have friends that are doing other things in life, you know, going other avenues, and you see how they work and their work life, like their work and regular life, and how it's like a cool balance. And I think it was just a fight within like myself, saying like, you're just so outside of what everyone else is doing. Like, you sure this is it?
I get you.
Like the path isn't clear.
Like the noise.
Yeah. My path isn't clear. Like, you know, with this, like it can go anywhere. It's not clear. It's wherever you direct it to be. So like it took a long time, but I think the love and the passion I had behind it really like broke that wall for me.
Kept you going.
Yeah, it kept me going. Like, bro, like I don't want to, like, there's days everyone wakes up like, damn, this is what I'm gonna do. But when I'm there, I'm like, what else am I gonna be doing? Yeah. Like this is me. This fulfills me like every moment. Like from 9:30 to 7, I'm like, okay, I did my thing today. You know, I touched a couple people. A couple people helped me feel better about myself. I made a couple other people feel better about themselves.
Is it more than just the cutting?
Yeah, way more than the cutting and the like.
I mean, how do you feel when you step foot in a barbershop, bro? For me, it's like therapy.
Yo, for real, it's
therapy
the conversation.
Yeah.
Right. It's the relationships.
Yeah.
You know, that you're building.
I like how vulnerable you can sometimes get to people, because like it's a male heavy. Like I have female clients too, but just with guys, like it's hard for us to like say like, yeah, bro, like it's been a rough week. Like I don't even know why I'm getting this haircut, and then you just build from there. You say like, yo, well, this happened to me this week. It's like, oh, well, I kind of had something similar. They're still not opening up. It's like, yeah, but like since that happened to me, I've been feeling like this a couple of days, and like, yeah, I kind of feel like that too. And you just start chipping away at each other. And it's important for guys to have conversation like this, people in general, to be able to have a heart to heart. You don't have to go in detail what it is, but show someone your heart.
Yeah.
Because maybe they need to see that transparency in someone to like get through what they need to get through. So I love it when people come in and talk, and I don't even have to say a word. They're talking the whole time. I'm like, that's perfect. Because a lot of people don't have someone to talk to.
Dude, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with this every single day. This is what I do for a living. Yeah. You know what I mean? People going through certain situations, and you sometimes just need a ear. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's what separates me from most people in my industry. Just really caring about a client or a seller. I mean, I do wholesale real estate. So, when a seller calls me and, speaks about their situation, their problems, I'm not thinking about what price they're looking for. I'm not thinking about, can I make a come up? Is how I can really like bring a solution to their problems. Yeah. And if you focus that, the last thing would be the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, you got to show other people. Maybe take that business side and just scoot it back a bit and be like real for a second.
And be real. Like, bro, you just need somebody to talk to. Like, look, I mean, one thing I do say all the time is just like, look, even if we don't do business together, at least I can point you in the right direction. Yeah. Because you need somebody. You need somebody. How many people are you going to call to speak about foreclosure? Yeah, last thing I'm going to call is my family members. You know what I mean? I'm embarrassed. Yeah. So last thing I'm going to call is my friends, my neighbors. I don't want nobody to know. I don't want this to be secretly, can you guys buy this property from me? And I'm that guy. And I'm that guy who's going to speak to them. You know what I mean? And I got to point them in the right direction, even if we don't do business.
Oof. Listen, we just mentioned something. You guys said have to be real, and have somebody to talk to. So, personally, for you guys, who do you guys go to when you feel like you're going through something, you need somebody to talk to? Like what's your we've talked about barbershop being a therapy for people, right? Being free and open. Like when you guys feel trapped, right? Or you guys are really going through something, right? Like, where do you guys go? Who do you guys go to?
One of my first phone calls was always my cousin, top there with my sister. But for me, I've luckily built relationships with certain people around me that we have a lot of deep conversations. One of my coworkers, Manny, my boy, since day one, like we'll stay after the shop and just always talk. And like I kind of liked what we had, so I started applying it to different people and different people in my circle, and people that I can tell like they speak with truth. And when it's time to talk about something deep, they're not telling you what you want to hear or what you like to hear. They tell you how it is and how they feel.
Now, how did you differentiate that within the people in your group? Like, okay, I can go to you or I can't go to you. You know what I'm saying?
You can just tell sometimes when someone's lost. A lot of times I can kind of get these feelings off of people, or like with certain things they do and say. Like I could talk to someone and see like if they have a front up or if they're really lost in themselves. Yeah. Like not everyone needs to have it figured out, but I like talking to people that are trying to figure it out, that are looking for a way out.
So you're fine with you coming to somebody and then them being like, "Yo, Cheech, honestly, I don't know." Yeah. You would prefer that person over the person that would try to just say something just to kind of
fill in the space.
Right.
Yeah, I'll prefer that. And then like I would want them to talk more about it. I'm like, bro, but like give me your thoughts. Like let me see how you look at things.
Right.
No person's built the same, but you should be able to collect information off each other.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's what I like doing. And luckily I was able to build a base, and slowly just us talking, you get pulled into the conversation. Right. Joseph gets to listen to the conversation. Our boy Diego, he's there.
Shout out to Diego.
Shout out to Diego right now. He's the cameraman.
Off camera.
So
I think it's important, like for
Arsenal sucks.
For us to definitely have people like that we can talk to.
And we've been having these conversations, bro. We've been having these conversations.
Yeah, it's funny because when we do, like, I feel like sometimes people just kind of sit around, just want to listen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know what y'all listening to. We're just talking.
That's me.
But it's so rich though, right? It's so rich listening to conversations.
I mean, that's smart though. I mean, listen, I heard this one thing from one of my mentors is like, you don't always have to be the smartest man in the room. Just sit back and don't even say a word, and that's how you can be the smartest man in the room. Mm-hmm. Not trying to just dabble into every single conversation, trying to like, oh, I do this, I do that. You know, just sit back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And is your posture, how you posture yourself, how you present yourself, you know what I mean? You know, your facial expressions matters. All these little things, you know, when you're going into a room, especially when you're not the smartest man, just observe, be a sponge.
Yeah. Soak it in.
Soak it in.
That takes some discipline too, though. Because sometimes you hear things that you're like, there's no way that's true. And you got to break it to yourself like, hey, man, your way isn't the only way. Your way is not only the only way. Like I've luckily, me being a barber, I talk to so many people. And I hear so many things. And, like, I like taking little bits and pieces from people.
Yeah.
You know, the bad, the good, the
And then you filter
the iffy.
it. You filter it, and then you know what sits with you in that season, in that moment of your life where you're at. That's what you take.
And it's crazy because some conversations I have, like, you know, me, I like with you, I like talking biblical stuff, and like some things people say and you say, and just like they both collide. I'm like, see, just when I thought this guy didn't know something, like he's moving in a direction that is seen, you know,
Right.
that has a path.
Yeah. Oof, that's good. There's something that somebody said that back to what you were saying, Jorge, though, about like sitting back and just listening and taking in. It's like, I forgot what he said, but I'm gonna butcher it anyways. It's like you sit and you listen, you take back, and it's to bounce off of Cheech also, and you filter information while you're listening, and then you can apply it to your own life.
Yeah.
In a, like, you get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
like, that's what I've been doing this whole time. Like,
You just
taking in and how I can better myself and how I can use the advice that they're giving me to my own life.
And that's so, like, the best way to learn is to just like that, just listen, and also learn from people's experiences, like what people go through. Like, you don't need to necessarily go through that. Like, you can literally sit back, watch, and see, and be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna learn from that, and I'm not gonna make that mistake. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the best. That's one of the best ways.
Easier way to put it is just like, you know, how can you learn when you're talking? If you're always talking, you're not learning nothing.
That's true.
Just listen.
That's true. It reminds me of one time when I was doing Bible study. I was hosting Bible study, this first ever Bible study. And I swore I knew everything about the Bible. Bro, like, I had the Bible study, and it was to tell people about God. But if people came and spoke, I was like, hey, listen, you're here to listen, and I'm the one.
Yeah.
Yo, it was so bad. I was like, I'm the one that's going to tell you about the Bible. Relax, right?
Yeah.
And I would just talk. And one day, I will never forget, I was working retail, and I went on break, and one of the girls that was there one day for a Bible study, and she never showed up again after, and I wondered why, but I saw her that day on my lunch break, and she spoke to me, and she said, hey, Kevin, can I tell you something? I said, yeah, sure. She said, you know, you don't know everything. Bro.
Flat out like that?
Flat out. So simple, but those words, it was like somebody stuck a knife right through my heart. And
It was your ego.
Yo, literally.
Ego check.
And it hit me so hard that I was like, nah, I can't continue with this Bible study. I can't, because it made me realize, like, God opened my eyes to see how far I was in my ego and pride, that I was like, yo, how is it that I'm just this, like, just me and God, me and God, me and God, me and God? But the way that God wants us to be is we learn from him and we share and love people. And I wasn't doing this, okay? I wasn't loving others. It was just me and God, me and God. I would love the time I spent with God. And I would look at people and I'll be like, you're not spending enough time with God. Like, oh, that person's cursing. Look at them, right? But that was all building up within me because I thought I was better than everybody. Just because I read more, I prayed more, I spent more time with God. But you know what the bad thing was? When I would sin and I would mess up, I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. Why?
You put it on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I put myself on this pedestal that I was like examining and looking at everybody like, oh my God, you sinner. God's not happy with you. Like, this is so bad. Look at how you're living. And look at me. And that day was, I thank God for that moment because it really changed the course of my life, like the direction of my life.
Those were the divine moments I was talking about earlier.
Come on, talk about it. Talk about it.
Divine moments. I mean, they're just really moments where, you know, things happen in your life, doors open, right? That God wanted them to happen, or, you know, God wanted those doors to open.
And you mentioned earlier too, you don't call it luck.
I don't call it luck. No, it's divine moments.
Right.
You know, there's people that say that, oh, you know, luck is preparation. Like, it's you being prepared, but I mean, it's divine moments. God put you in that moment. He gave you you know, the success to have whatever the case may be, whatever you wanted to do, but he intentionally made that happen. It's for you to build that bond with him stronger, so you can share it to other people.
Right.
And those are divine moments.
Listen, guys, talking about some good stuff, but we're going to be right back. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. Okay, so divine moments. I know Cheech had something great he wanted to ask you about that.
Yes, to speak on it more. So in my head, when you said that, I was wondering, do divine moments turn into testimonies for people? Is it those moments?
Facts. I mean, I think you had a divine moment and you have a testimony that you can share.
I mean, there's a couple.
Ooh, I'm
There's
ready.
a lot.
I'm ready.
You know, damn. I mean, a lot of my divine moments came in pretty dark times, but I think just the love and support people have for me when like certain things happen to me, and like how they always talk to me and always said like, yo, bro, keep doing what you're doing. And like that, those moments, keep doing what I'm doing. And like when I heard that, I was like, all right, do what's in your heart. So like with that, got closer to God, really just started looking at things differently. And like my testimony is like, I was kind of a crazy person, you know, still got a little crazy in me, but all that's like calmed down. I'm able to have like more control over myself and like the things that happen around me. Or I tried, you know, with the right thoughts in my head. And I think like I'm still working on my testimony, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have a lot of people that kind of roamed the same streets that I roamed and did certain decisions that I did. But I could tell them like, yo, you don't only have to do that. You know, there's a lot out there and there's a lot of people that care about you and want you to do more. So care about yourself. So I'm working on that. And like along with that is obviously my relationship with God and everyone that has love for him too.
Yeah.
All that's going. That's all part of my testimony.
Yeah, for sure. Divine moments can definitely happen in dark times. I mean, that's really when you realize them. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, snap, there really is somebody up there. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
Let me meet him. How can I meet him? How can I get closer?
Yep.
And that's divine moments. It's bringing that gap between you and him much closer.
Yep.
And it ain't no coincidence. It ain't luck, bro. You didn't get lucky. That was a divine moment God planned. Maybe he didn't plan it to happen, but it happened. Yep. But it brought you closer. That's for damn sure.
100%. Way closer. And I think people that ignore those divine moments, because I feel like people definitely do. Mm-hmm. They kind of let those moments just go over by their head and they're like, oh, nah, like, you know, that just happened because it's me. Like, nah, man, there's somebody looking at the bigger picture.
Or I got lucky.
Yeah, I like that though. Like, because I'm guessing when you have those moments, that's when you start building your story. What's the word? Testimony?
Yeah.
Testimony, yeah.
Definitely.
There's somebody at my job. I didn't know he was a Christian, but we just got on the topic of Jesus, started talking about Jesus, and he said something so powerful. He said, God will make you, draw closer to him, either through triumph or tragedy. And like, think about it too. Like, when the happiest and the biggest things, like the best moments, like, I don't know, let's say you win the lottery, right? You're going to be like, yo, like, thank you, God. Right? Like, or like when you're going through something really traumatic, you're going to be like, yo, God, what's going on? Like, God, where are you? Right? And sometimes it sucks because we don't want to be at the short end of the stick where it's kind of like like something bad has to happen for you to like realize, like, but I believe divine moments can be, like you said, like it most of your divine moments came in your bad times, right? And sometimes we don't realize that. We think divine moments only come in like these happy times or these good times. Like, no. Sometimes you can be on top of the mountain and a divine moment can happen. You could be in the valley and then a divine moment can happen, right? Yeah. That's why, like, I believe the Bible says we got to thank God in all things, in all circumstances, in all situations that we're in. Because would you relate divine moments to everything happens for a reason? Would you connect the two?
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I like how you're saying that in your good and bad, because for me right now the transition is like there's a lot of good stuff happening, and when stuff does work out, it's always like, thank you. Like,
right.
I feel like, okay, let's keep this going. Let's keep this relationship going. You know, it's not only, you can't always call out for him. You have to give him his pat in the back too when your things are going the way you want them to, or when things are just aligning without you stressing and crying, and you're just like, you know, I'm taking it day by day. And you wake up the next day and that first block is already there. You're like, okay, thank you. And you just keep on laying down, brick by brick. Lay down that little layer of cement so the other one can hold on to it strong, you know.
But don't get it twisted. I mean, at the same time, when everything's going good, that whole wall can come down.
Oh yeah,
and it's how you handle that. I mean, it's you know, more money, more problems, more growth, more problems.
100%.
You gotta really adapt and really learn how to come back from them.
I believe that it starts at your foundation, like the way that you build your foundation.
Who's your foundation?
Right, exactly, right. And you know, if God is your foundation and you really build on the solid foundation of your relationship with God, like through the times that you're in the valleys and through the times that you're on the mountaintops, no matter what, if life is going good, if life sucks in that moment, in that season, you will still honor and you will still praise him, because that relationship and that foundation you have with him is so much stronger than the storm. It's so much stronger than what you're facing in that moment, that you're not going to let life dictate your relationship with God. You're going to let Jesus speak louder than life and your circumstances and what's going on with you in that moment. And that's so true.
It's fact.
You know, like, think about it. When you are furthest away from God, you panic when things happen that you're like, yo, God, I need you now. But you feel like you're freaking so far away from him. It's like, yo, God, are you even hearing me right now? Because I'm like going through it. But like, I know that I'm not where I need to be with you right now, but I'm struggling and I need you. But how much sweeter would it be, like, God, like, I'm good with you. And you know what? I know everything's going to be all right. It reminds me of Job, bro. You know the story of Job? I'm sure you guys know. So you heard
I
the story
don't. You
of
know,
Job?
you always put me onto this. These are my favorite stories.
Bro, but like, and you know what's crazy? And before I get into the story of Job, bro, somebody asked me something about the story of Job, right? And I was like, man, I even brought it up to my parents earlier today. Job was tested. He honored God in everything that he did, right? And the devil came to God one day. The devil came and he was like, Job honors you, but he only honors you because you blessed him so much. And God was like, no. And he said, okay, I'm going to go test him. And the enemy tested, right? And God also let things happen to Job. Like, the man lost everything. And I mean, he was wealthy, prosperous, very, very wealthy. Imagine you got a mansion just taken away from you. Your kids and your wife dead.
Oh, God.
And he got sores all over his body. I mean, like, from everything, like physical appearance became crazy, right? Like, he got sores all over him, lost everything. And his friends, there was a part in the Bible, his friends surrounded him and they were like, oh, you must have done something wrong to God for this to happen.
I'm about to say he became a person that wasn't acceptable in any way.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
And status, looks.
Exactly. He lost
Stripped
it
of
all.
everything.
Right. And can you imagine his friends came around and they were like, no. This doesn't just happen to anybody. It happened to you because think about what you probably did in your life. You probably did something to God for God to do this to you. And Job was like, no, he's telling him like, no, I didn't do anything. No. And they're just there. They're accusing him. All of this. And he's standing fast. But all in this, he's questioning God. He's like, why? What's going on? Why, God? What's going on? And then there's a chapter in the book of Job where God comes and answers him. And it's the most scariest but most beautiful response ever. Because that chapter reminds us of him. We it puts you, yeah, exactly. And it's like, yo, God was like, do you know where I store snow and rain and hail? Like, that's the way that God, and he said, who are you that you can tell me what to do? Do you know where I keep, how I stop the waves so that they don't cross over the ocean? Do you know where I store hail and rain and snow? And bro, that, like, can you even answer that? Like, you're like, God, like he's basically telling him, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm in control of all things. And if somebody asked me a question about that, I was like, oh, how can a good, loving God, strip Job of everything and then be like, oh, I only did it just to test him? Kind of like God had a little argument with Satan. So God was like, oh, word? Bet. I'm going to show you it's not like that. Let me just go strip Job of everything and take him. And the person was asking me, like, if God is so good, why would he do something like that? Yeah. And when you really think about it, you're like, God, why would you do something like that? If you know Job's heart and you know all of us, why would you basically like kind of ruin his life to prove a point? But if you look at the bigger picture, God is not doing that to ruin his life. At the end of the whole book, you see that the Bible says that God gave him 10 times more than what he even lost.
What I like about that story is that I love that he always went back to God to ask him. He didn't try maybe talking to Satan, or he knew, like, okay, I have to talk to this guy. This is the guy that's gonna give me the answer. Like you said, whether he likes it or not. When he hit him with that, like, do you know where I do that? Like,
yeah,
he probably didn't like that, but I feel like that just shows like how God, like how strong that connection.
Exactly.
Like that faith went over everything.
Right. Like that foundation was everything. Imagine.
That was a strong one too.
Right? Bro, like, God forbid we don't want anybody to go through that, right? We don't want anybody to go through, but God knew that. You ever heard the saying that God will not give you something you can't handle?
Yes.
I believe Job could handle that. That's why he was given that test. Anybody else will fold.
Yeah. What is it? God tests his strongest soldiers always.
Yeah. Yeah.
That man definitely kept his armor on.
Oh, seriously. I gotta show you guys that scripture. Well, I'll show you guys after.
I like that.
It's so deep.
Job,
yeah, the book of Job. It's it's Andrea's favorite book. And I was so surprised. Yeah, I was so surprised that she told me that. She was like, I love the book of Job. I was like, what? That is crazy. Crazy book to love. But I know.
I think the real question is, how many other books does she know?
I'm
joking. She knows
I'm about to defend my lady right now.
Yeah, she knows a lot. That's my sister, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, Andrea's is digging in her word, man. Hey, you come with my lady, man. I'm about to her brother over here. Huh?
All her brothers.
Yeah, literally.
Back, bro, family.
Let's all look at him.
I'm the youngest.
Y'all gonna jump me.
I never. We'll jump you with hugs.
Man, I wanna ask also. We all had an amazing, and Diego all had an amazing time when we went to Miami, right? I feel like we got so much
Closer,
We
yeah.
got so much closer, and like I'm so thankful for that, man. Like it's more than just like a vacation, more than getaway. It was really so awesome and beneficial.
You know what's crazy? The other day I was speaking to Diego about this. About it's like with Cheech, right? Like I've known you my whole life, right? You, as my cousin, but I never knew you as a friend.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that trip really brought us a little closer.
Oh,
bro.
yeah,
You feel
bro.
me? It's
100%.
all love, bro.
All love.
And
all love.
that's what I like. You feel me?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever spent time away with even you, like just like that. Like we've taken vacations together, but like I think we all knew what we went down there for, and I think we're all getting to a point in our life where what we have around us is what we want around us until forever, until we can keep breathing.
Yeah.
And I went out there with the intentions of getting closer to you, getting close to my cousin, seeing Joseph.
Likewise.
Like I always tell Jorito, I always try to show him like what love is and like how people treat you with love, and I want Joseph to see that too, and I want Joseph to feel it too. Like I can be your friend, I can be your cousin, I can be your security guard, whatever you need me to be, But first, like we need to just understand that we're family. We're not from the same blood, but we're under the same umbrella, and we're all gonna look each other out, regardless what it is.
Yeah.
And that trip, man.
I think that trip really put a stamp on it. We really became brothers.
Seriously.
Same with Diego too.
Yeah, man.
Diego,
All of us.
You're in here. Yeah.
You gotta put the subtitles when he speaks.
Yeah.
For real.
From back corner.
What you say?
Nah, that was a cool trip though, for sure.
It really was.
And shout out to Bella. Bella's
For sure.
awesome. That's Wolf's girl. She's the best, especially when she sings. But it was cool because we did a little bit of everything there. Like we could have easily done the Miami trip,
Right.
hit South Beach, but nah, we decided, let's buy food, let's cook.
Yeah.
I burnt a lot of the meat, and
Oh yeah, there we go. Everybody's always attacking Chelsea, man. Can we let them breathe?
and you know what I really loved that I'm trying to do with my friends group that we did. Every single time got in the car, we did a prayer.
Yeah.
Every time we ate, we did a prayer.
Yeah.
Any like if we had like an over exaggeration of fun, like I feel like we all were giving thanks.
Right,
Just like
right.
low key in our own way.
Yeah.
Just
You know
like
what I mean?
just like that time we went to Key West and like it just didn't go as planned. Like we still made
The best out of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was, bro. That was.
That was dope. To be
That
honest.
was dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was awesome.
That drive home was guys, I thought we were storm chasing.
That's exactly what we did. So I mean, tell them the story. Tell them what we did
Who wants to get into it?
What? For what part?
for the Key West.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. So we had this dope itinerary set up where we're supposed to get on a boat. We had everything set up. Like,
Again, shout out to Bella.
shout out to Bella.
Shout out to Bella.
Sweet deal. We're gonna go parasailing, jet skiing, scuba diving,
Banana
open
boat.
bar, banana boat,
Anything
like,
you can imagine.
anything you can imagine.
Snorkeling.
Snorkeling. We're gonna be on a nice boat. We're
Parasailing.
Parasailing.
bro. We're supposed to get down there, right?
For like $180.
Yeah.
Cheech is trying to
Key
get
West.
out.
Key West. We're in Key West. Like $180. We're doing all that. Unheard of. So we're driving down there, right? And we're all in good spirit. Like, we had everything.
Oh, food and drinks included.
Yo, Cheech is
Everything.
trying to get.
Hey, man, keep throwing details in. I'm on my train's going. So yeah, we're getting down there, and we're like, it's looking a little gray out. We're like, oh no, we're good. We're all in good spirits. We get to the spot.
Nah, it's raining the whole way there. I know it. In the back of our heads, we're like, yo,
The wipers are going full on. We're like, yo, it's not even that bad. It's not even that bad.
the whole car is shaking. Like
We get to the spot.
we got a whole flat.
We get to the spot, and the people are like, the people are looking at us like, you guys know it's raining. We're like, yeah, but it's gonna go away, right? You're like, are you guys gonna wait for us to give the official like we're not doing it? We're like, yeah, we're gonna wait. So we wait. They tell us no. We're sitting in the rain. No one has ponchos. We gotta go get some. And then like we just looked at each other and we're like, yo, what are we gonna do? We're like, we're already in Key West. We go get breakfast, and then we kind of just looked around. We seen everything clearing up a little bit. We're like, yo, let's just explore. Yeah. We go find the nearest like electro rental spot. They give us a little map, and we just made a day out of it. We're
With
racing
go-karts.
with go-karts. We're just racing each other from spot to spot.
With no phones, just the map they gave
Yeah.
us.
Literally.
You know, like
It got real
we,
quick.
We all accepted it, and like we're all just like, you know what? Let's not bum this down.
Yeah.
So we had a day, man. A day, like
Crazy.
it's so much fun, especially doing it with people. Like we're all like, I think that was day what into the trip?
I think
Second to last.
Second to last.
Second to last day. So like we've already all been building up this great energy with each other, and like something like that could have easily stumped us, but we just decided like, nah, we're gonna keep this fun going.
Yeah.
Turned it into something that we had no idea it was gonna be.
We got another one next year.
Yeah.
Facts.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Camping trip, Michigan.
Yes.
We're getting primal.
Liver kick.
Okay.
We're gonna eat raw liver.
This guy, that's how he likes his burgers, raw. I want you guys to have a debate on that. How do
Medium.
you like your burgers?
Medium.
Nah. This guy was saying rare.
Medium.
Rare.
Nah, bro, that was extra pink, bro.
You ate it. And it was juicier than his puck. His freaking
Nah,
hockey
nah,
puck, bro.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna put,
I'm about to redeem myself, bro. I'm gonna say it like that. All right, it wasn't my best. You know, my bad to all my Iron Chefs that I watch every night. I'm gonna try better.
at least you could throw down.
Yeah, we do a little something.
Nah, Cheech and my brother can really cook. I ain't gonna lie.
You can throw down.
Yeah.
Hey, my rice though. Hey.
Oh
Yeah, that was good, that was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope Andrea's listening to this because she's always right. Andrea's always coming at me about my rice.
Yo, I can't even say it.
Oh,
How am I gonna say it?
No, I want to hear like, how were you guys feeling after that trip? Like, were you guys
I was-
thinking about like, were any thoughts going through your guys' heads about like, I don't know, maybe the relationships that was built, or like maybe trying to apply like what we did with other people? Like, did anything like that go?
It definitely. So I mean, being away from you guys, having nobody over there besides my girl and the friends that I built over there, but you guys, the people I grew up with, the people I hold close to my heart. It definitely built a motivation. It built me strong. Like, all right, cool. Like I like this. I need this more often. I'm gonna get it after.
Yeah.
For them. Like I'm gonna put on for them. This is for them. So this is like that's what it builds inside of me. I use that to kind of motivate me. Even though motivation is temporary, but that's what that's what type of thoughts I had in my head, and just like how can I kind of relive these moments with these people? How can we do this again? And that's when the whole thought about was like, yo, let's try to do this again next year.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole thing with Michigan, because I really enjoyed that trip.
Yeah. I think everyone needs trips like that. You know me, I like traveling. I'm always out and about. But that right there was like, I needed this. And I told Kevin about something that I told myself before I went on this trip, and it happened.
Yeah.
And I was trying to ignore it.
No.
So there was one more. I always told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna walk out, and I'm gonna see Kev reading the Bible, and I'm gonna ask him.
That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
how it
And I'm like,
happened.
I'm gonna ask him. So what happened? Sun's up. Kev's outside, got his coffee, reading his Bible, and I look at him. I walk. I'm like, nah. Let me not bother him. And I try to run away from that moment, but I'm like, yo, you told yourself that if you catch him doing that, you're gonna sit next to him and read. And then when I went outside, I'm like, yo, Kev, do you mind if I? And he's like, what? Yes. He's like, dust this off. Let me dust this off. He's like, he's like, you can see what I'm reading. I'm like, yes, bro. Yes, please read.
That's Kevin.
And then we just opened up conversations, and then he told me stories, and then I'm like, yo, but explain to me this, that, and the third, and like me and him just right there like had a great bond.
Bro, I love that so much, bro.
Yeah. It was something I really try to run away from it, but I was like, bro, you told yourself that, because me and Kevin really didn't have a connection. It was just family parties,
Yeah.
like we'll BS, and like me being like always having plans. I'll be in the house for like 15 minutes. I'm like, yo, Kev, I gotta go. My bad, So, the little conversations we had always I always liked them.
Right.
They were always cool. Like we're able to vibe off each other real easily. I wasn't scared to hold I didn't have to hold my tongue with him, and I feel like he didn't expect that from me. You know, there wasn't no expecting from each other.
Right.
So when I did that, and he just came with me with open arms, I'm like, damn, this feels great. Like, I'm so happy.
Facts.
So happy this happened. And like,
Divine moments, bro.
Divine moments, bro. Like, to answer your question too, Cheech,
And the fact that it happens the same way you pictured it.
Yeah.
Bro.
that's yeah.
I'm about to start getting chills, man. Like, literally, this shit was crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Man, for me, after the whole trip, I was like, man, I really love these guys, man. I was like, I have such a deep love for them, like, and I was like, man, I don't want to ever like fade. Matter of fact, I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to leave, bro.
He bought his flight last minute.
Literally,
Yo, for real.
I bought a one-way ticket. And then I'm gonna be there. I feel like we're all gonna be in the same vicinity one day.
Yeah,
One day it's gonna happen.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Because, man,
Houses right next to each other.
we can do that.
Barbecues.
I think it's going to end up being like that just because the natural love we all have for each other and, like, how big it is.
Right.
Facts. How about for you, bro?
What? What was the question?
The trip. How did like after the trip, what did you like feel? What did you take back? Like, how did you?
Oh, like I said, like, you know what I'm saying? I never knew him as a friend. And like that, I'm kind of glad that barrier broke between us. Cause like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like, it's crazy to me.
I actually felt a little shy being in the studio with, like, you and all that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, me too. I was mad nervous.
Yeah. I was just like, damn, like, you know, like, I'm in his space now, you know what I mean? I just want to see him work. I don't want him to think that I'm judging his work or any of that.
Nah, yo, you're mad creative, bro. Like, you know, especially when it comes to music, and I feel like, even though I'm not an artist, but maybe you can speak on it more, but like, for example, like having you in that studio, you know, different flows and stuff like that. You got a lot of different flows, bro.
Yeah,
you're very talented. You definitely helped out a lot.
Yeah.
You can see the foundation that you built from music.
Yeah.
It really shows itself.
It's just the love for it, bro. That too. And I don't know, just being around you guys brings that juice out too. You know, being especially with this guy. This guy's, he has a lot of good influential like pieces about him. You know, and it brings out of you, like, it makes you want to think outside the box and, you know, try to have a different cut to everything.
That's true.
Don't have a simple cut that can fit everyone. Do a little something different. Switch it up. But that studio sesh for me was, that was awesome. And it was cool to contribute.
The first one or the second one?
All of them. I appreciated all of them. You know, I just wanted to, like, give out good energy. Yo, hopefully my cousin picks that up. Lays down a sexy one for everyone.
I know what you mean though, like being like, dang, like this is like his space. I'll never forget the first time that I seen him like work. I was like, yo, this is so dope. I was like, yo, but then I was like, let me just take it all in right now, you know? And then over time, as I started going more and more, I was like, yo, this is like, I got the sense of like, this is how I felt when we were all there. It's like, this is it. This is how it's gonna be. Like you're like, you know how like everybody has like a team. You know, you see people like, I don't know, for example, Polo G walks through. He ain't just walking through. There's other people that are walking with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the group that's being formed.
Facts.
Like, I was literally in there. I was just thinking, I was like, yo, this is it. Like, and the beauty in that is like have every piece like this is gonna sound nuts because these are things I was thinking about in the studio. You got Diego. How's Diego's character? Diego pieces things together. He like calms the.
He's the organizer.
And like calms the mood, calms the atmosphere.
When things are hectic and you look at Diego, he's gonna be like,
"Oh, chill out, just relax, like just take a moment to breathe and like just take everything in."
Right, and he's very very like real organized. Organized, like he's like, "Yo, guys, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do this, like this. How we're gonna do it?" You know.
Honestly, every morning, number one guy I counted on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
Dave, come here.
100%, yeah.
Let's get the team together, bro.
Yeah.
We all got to clean.
Yo, and we all
he came to me one morning, yo, bro, you didn't even take a shower yet, dog.
Yo,
Shout out to Diego now.
seriously. But like
But back to your sin.
every like in the team, everybody has like an amazing gem, amazing piece, right? Cheech is so creative. He can come up with things. Like when we were in the studio and Joseph like was like, okay, like what should I use? Like how should I word this? You know, Cheech was like, no, you should say it like this, put it like that, word it like this. Like, and it is just gelled together.
Yeah, that little breakdown part did come out pretty fire.
Yo, so sweet, bro. And then you're kicking things into motion. You know, like if everybody's like, you know, kind of like, you're like, yo, come on, you know, let's get going. Like, no, you could do better than that. Let's go, you know. And then me, like, everybody, Jesus loves you.
Dancing in the corner, lining up the mood.
I'm like, everybody relax. God loves us, you know. So and then Joseph, the chasing after his dream, like, but like the beauty and all of that, we're all pushing each other.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. I think we definitely got to tell people.
Man, it's so beautiful. Like, and I was just seeing all of that, like, you know, take place, and I was like, man, this is.
And like we give each other support without having anything. It's not like any of us have blue checks or anything.
Right.
But we treat each other like we have blue checks.
Right.
You know? Like that's crazy.
Just go on Twitter. You can pay it now. Pay for the blue check, $8 a month.
$8 a month.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Hey, shout out
Pay
to Elon
$8 a
Musk.
month and you can get a blue check next to your name. It's like a Netflix subscription.
I want to be signing checks, not just seeing a blue check on my thing.
It don't mean nothing, bro. It don't mean nothing because behind that, we all know like people not being vulnerable. They're not showing the true colors.
Right. Gotta be real behind your blue checks.
Yes, sir. It's a thing we say in the shop. It's scary. People are scared to be like that.
Yeah. Listen, man.
This is why you can see us talk like this and all that, because we have respect for each other.
Right.
We look at each other higher than we might even look at ourselves, and that's good energy to keep around yourself. All
What
the
you
time.
see is what you get. I mean, this is, bro. I told Kevin, I'm like, yo, we need to put a podcast together, and we got a Cheech involved, and I'm like, yo, I want people to know like who we are, like you know, for real, like this is what you know, things we go through in our personal lives.
Think
and
we can
stuff.
get realer?
Let's get realer.
We're gonna get realer. Stay with us, all right? Okay, so we're gonna get deep and pause. But
Real deep.
pause on that one.
All
So,
the way.
what are your biggest fears, and how do you deal with them? I stole that question from Cheech.
Yeah, I guess I'll answer it first. So fears is definitely something I know everyone deals with every day. You know, we have to face at least one of them every day we wake up. And it's for me, how I deal with it, or how I've been trying to like analyze myself, how I deal with it. I just sometimes I just try to put myself in a certain space, stay somewhere quiet. I like when I'm dealing with something, I like being alone for some reason for a little bit.
Yo, me too.
Car rides, or I play certain kind of music, and I just start thinking like whenever I'm dealing with something, I just feel like, yo, this is too much for me. I just kind of think back to like when I was a kid and like what how much I've gone and like how much I've changed, and I'm still changing.
Right.
And I can't let this one thing stop me, because I got people that see me growing up my whole life, my family, my friends, and maybe you don't see it, but people definitely look at their friends that had to give them self-hope too. So I always try to think about that too. I'm like, damn,
Facts.
like I know my friend needs to see me go through this so he can feel like he can go through something. Maybe it's something we never even spoke on, but I always do things for more than just myself. Because I always say we're only one being, and we're only here for so long. You know, if you can do something to impact yourself that can impact somebody else that's going to live out longer than you, then try to do it for that.
Yeah.
we're only, our time is dated. So I always try to look at it like that. I'm like, man, you got to get over this. It's not going to only help you. It's going to help your family. It's going to help your friends. You know,
somebody out there needs to hear this, basically, or needs to see what I'm going through.
Yep.
Needs to feel it.
Yep.
I can feel that.
See my emotions, you know, and try to be real. Be real. Feel everything. I always tell people that you got to feel it. You got to feel every emotion that anything comes with. Success, maybe failing at something that you want to, feel that.
Yeah.
Because that embarrassment feeling is you really being vulnerable to what you're trying to do. And just trying to get over things, just always push, man. Just think about others. Think about the Most Highest. Like, just don't try to doubt yourself. My thing, like I always say, I'm gonna go back to it. Do it because, like you said, other people need to hear it and need to see it. So, like, and my approach isn't always the most aggressive, because you were saying like you like going at things aggressively.
I'm intense. So I mean, for me, it's not. Is it a fear? I mean, but my goals scare me. You know what I mean? Like, every day I wake up and it's just like, you know, like I'm trying to get to a certain place. And I hold myself to a high standard that, you know, at times that, you know, where I may be sleeping in a little bit longer, you know, those impact my results. And you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay where you are today, because your results are getting you there. So you can be the guy that's waking up late, going late to work, doing just enough to get by. You know what I mean? You know, relying on your own talents. You have to be okay with that person, right? If, you know, those are your results. Those are the results you're going to get. But you also got to be okay with not getting to where you want to be based on your results, or based on your actions, based on what you do on your day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like a process. You know, life is always, you know, there's a process to everything. And there's always like a routine you got to pick up, you know, for example, you know, showing up early, you know, setting time apart for yourself, to work, you know, better on your craft. And you have to be okay with that person. You have to be okay, whatever person you decide to be, because your results is what's going to get you. So your results are going to basically come from, you know, you're only going to get one result from showing up late, doing just enough, relying on your own talents, not seeking more education. That's going to lead to a certain person that does not relate to your goals. But if you change the script, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to be punctual. I'm going to time block. I'm going to have be a better steward of my time to get where I want to be. You know, my results in that process is going to show itself, and I'm going to get there. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of, you know, scares me. My goals, you know, not, you know, just one day I just take one day to sit back and relax. Oh yeah, you know, go take a break. You know what I mean? Go take a vacation. You need it. That's people tell you in your ear all the time. Yeah. Go take. You need it. You know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, nah, I can't enjoy it now. But that's also another problem that I have. You know what I mean? And you guys are the best to tell me. You know, it's a blind spot of mine that you guys kind of brought to light.
I always try to tell you, like, bro, you got to appreciate everything else going around you.
Facts.
Because time moves fast, people move fast. And you can miss out on small moments where you're just like, you look back, maybe you have everything you need, but it's like, damn, that one memory. I wish I could have had one longer conversation. Facts. Or stuff like that. And like what you're saying with showing up, for me, showing up means something different, though. There's one thing just showing up somewhere like, okay, I had to be here at this time. This is why I'm here. For me, like, showing up means I'm here. I'm going to give it my all. If the results aren't what I want them to be, at least I know I gave it my all.
Yeah. Or you follow the process. Yeah. That's what I mean. You follow the process. You know, going back to what you were saying earlier, man, I forgot. You were saying earlier about, you know, God wanting it to be a certain way. But if you follow the process, if you read your Bible, if you pray, you know what I mean, that's going to lead you to a better relationship with Him. But if you're not following that process, that routine, then I mean, you already know what kind of person that's going to lead you to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my thing behind it. You know, just I'm intense. And I hold myself to a high standard, and that's a problem of mine. But I mean, it's also a good thing. I guess it's just finding that fine balance.
Gift and curse for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, finding the balance between that.
Yeah, and also being like again, being okay with that person, being okay with just giving just enough, or going above and beyond and being reliable and delivering results every single time and following the process. Even if you don't get the results that one day, second day, that 1 month, just keep following that process. It's gonna come. It's gonna show itself.
Right.
For sure.
Oof. What about you? Fears and how you overcome them. What's your way of dealing with them? I know you say you relate to Cheech when he said, being by yourself and being alone.
Well, I like to really spend like alone time. That's really where. But like not too much, because if I do, then I just get too much in my head, and then it's a bad thing. And but one of my fears is like not making it. But that's everybody, And like my brother said, just taking it day by day, and it's a process. Some people want it like that, but it can't be like that. I mean, it can happen, but it can all be taken away in a moment.
In fact, and going back to what Cheech said, you're gonna miss those moments.
Exactly.
If it was like that, would you appreciate the journey? I mean, I saw this thing the other day where this guy is like, "Yo, everybody's rushing to get somewhere. Everybody's rushing to go where they wanted to be. But once they get there, they're gonna realize that, damn, I missed out on all of these moments, all this whole process, this whole journey. I missed out on that." And like she said, what if I just had one more minute with that person before, you know what I mean? Little stuff like that. We miss that process. We miss that journey. So it's all about the journey. And I think that's where basically what you were trying to say.
Yeah.
Yo, but I want to talk about like when you say you like to be in silence, like in that time, what do you do with the silence? Is it just to clear, like, do you want to be in actual silence, or are you self-analyzing yourself and like getting in your head? Like when I'm in silence, like it kind of helps me my vision clear up a bit. Like I can like look out into the woods, but there's a whole movie going on of like what I want to happen and all that.
Yeah.
Like in your time in silence, what do you use it to reflect on the past, the future, what's happening now? Where do you like to go with it?
It's a great question.
Well, that's a really good question. No, sometimes like I do think about the past and how could have I done things differently, but it's not really in my control anymore, and that's what I had to learn. And because I was just too stuck up on the past, and it was just really taking a hold on me until I really learned how to let go and just continue on. And so when I'm alone, I just self-reflect on how can I be better? How can I do this and how can I do that better? And just have a plan and executing it.
Do you see like yourself like in a different like space like too? Like, 'cause it's weird. Like sometimes when I'm by myself like that, I kind of see myself in my little like office,
Yeah.
Or I see myself like turning off my barbershop lights and all that stuff. Like, do you see those things too?
Yeah, like if
You have to.
I can like envision myself, like for example, in my situation, like I can envision myself working in one of the best studios in the country, working with one of the greatest artists in the country, and I could see myself in a penthouse.
Do you feel it too? When
Yeah,
you're in that silence?
I feel it. Like it's it's about to happen, but there's some things that I gotta do first in order for me to get there.
Yeah, like definitely, like it's definitely a top thing for me. Like just that silent moment, I feel like I can almost touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
At times when I'm by myself.
And it was one time, like last week, I was with Freaky and one of my producers. I mean, not one of my producers, but a friend that I know, he's a producer. Shout out to Javi Got Bangers. And we was all just chilling there, just talking. And like I brought up the fact that like I could really feel us in that moment, like and that's how can I explain it? Like I can feel us making it. Like I already feel it. It's like it's already there. It's like it's in the palm of my hand, but we just gotta grab it and like grab it by the balls.
Yeah.
And just yank it.
Yeah.
And just give it your all. You feel me? It was a bad analogy, but
No.
It's an actual analogy. Grab the bull by the balls.
And I've actually seen that happen in Colombia.
Yeah.
That's like the most like that's like when they're doing bullfighting, and if you're the guy that walks up to the bull when he's all on the floor, and you yank that piece of an animal up, like everyone's on their feet clapping it up, like
Yeah, no, for sure. Man up, have accountability for where you are now, and be responsible for your actions and your results. Take it all in. Take it all in. Take every single step of the way, and just learn, like you said.
Yeah, like before, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like blaming others for like my outcome in life. I was blaming you, but like I didn't. I didn't look myself in the mirror like saying like, yo, like, it's you, like you're self sabotaging yourself in order to get where you want to be. But you feel me?
Real question for everyone: How often do you guys actually like look at yourself in the mirror and like talk to yourself?
Often.
Same.
Very much. Yeah, I do it a lot.
It's part of like my morning routine when I get out the shower. I
guess
kind of like look at myself and have self conversations with myself.
I have self assessments, but it's also good to ask somebody else who's closest to you. I mean, and sometimes it can be your significant other. You might not want to hear it. It might be an ego thing, like where it's hitting right in the spot, and just like. But sometimes you got to put that ego aside and then, just have an open mind to that assessment, because that's a blind spot that they see that we don't see.
Right. One thing too that I do is I examine myself, right? Like I take time to really see, like, okay, Kev, like, what are you doing? What are you slacking on? What is it that you could do better? What are you being lazy or comfortable with? And like in the quiet moments, I feel like that's what I do a lot. I really examine myself and I'm like, what can you be doing better? And I do envision myself where I am, where I'm gonna be. As a matter of fact, I have, this is crazy because I already picture how it's gonna go. I have an Oscar award in my house, a fake one.
Wow.
And I grab it and I look at myself in the mirror and I proclaim the truth of where I already am. Like I'm giving my speech already.
Yep.
While holding it. This is going to happen, right? And this is going to be crazy because this video that we're doing right now is going to be taken when I get to where I need to get to. I'm going to take that Oscar, the fake one, and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to have the real one when they give me the real one. Yeah. And my speech is going to be like, you see this fake one here? I'm not surprised about this real one because I already knew it was going to happen.
But which one, at that point when you have both in your hand, which one's going to mean more?
The fake one.
Yeah.
The fake one. Because that's
the one that meant nothing, but you gave it life.
Oh man, it's so powerful, bro.
I got a fake check that I wrote to myself.
Really?
Jim Carrey.
Did you find it?
Jim Carrey did something like that.
Yeah,
I got a fake check that I wrote to
it?
myself. No, because he went through one of my journals, which is, I'm completely fine with it. I don't care, because a lot of the stuff that, it just, my prayers, my manifestations, like me just envisioning where I want to be, the person that I want to be. It was in there. So I do, I suggest you people watching it should do the same for sure. Definitely.
And I have daily declarations that I have in my notes.
I want to start that.
And I always I start it all with I am, right? Not I'm going to be. It's I already am. Like it's already done. It's already established. So I start my day like that, and I really just declare it, and then I have some verses next to it, to some of them. So I do it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually are the really main focuses that I do the declarations on, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful, and it's not going to be a surprise when we get to where we need to get to, or where God has us, because it's something that was already destined to happen.
There's times where I hear certain songs, I'm like, I want this to play at my opening, and then I hear it again and I start tearing up and shit. And I'm like, damn, bro, is this what I'm gonna be doing when this happens? Or am I just getting all these tears out now?
That's right. What's the song?
It changes all the time, bro. It all changes. I can't tell you one right now, but a lot of them just talk about just always working, even though you didn't know what was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? My grand opening is definitely gonna be a couple Nipsey hustle songs getting thrown around and all that. Hustle, motivate, and all that. But yeah, man, I think it's cool that we all do that. And we didn't know that about each other.
Yeah, that's so powerful. See, whatever God has destined, I believe that it's the journey to where you need to get to is more powerful. Like you said, some people, right? It'll happen, right? But it's not. It doesn't work that way, right? Why? Because God has to shape some characteristics in you before you are that person. Because imagine you become, the top real estate agent, mogul, or how do they say mogul, right? And you literally have so many properties, right? But you become that tomorrow. You might not be able to handle that.
I can appreciate it. Ready.
Right, exactly. Like there's some things that there's going to be a lot of loose ends. And the journey is so beautiful because that's what prepares you to be able to take all that in, to be able to deal with all of that,
How do you like to deal with like a over influx of like emotions when you're doing something?
It's funny because Andrea had to show me that blind spot because I took a lot on at once and I didn't realize the damage it was doing because I was like here, and everything was unfinished. There were so many things that I was starting that I never finished because I wanted to dabble into everything. And I didn't notice how stressful I was becoming. Like one thing about me is I like to push things to the back burner. Like if I'm feeling very stressed or very over, I'm like, nah, come on, keep going. But it's weighing me down, but I'm not seeing it in the moment. But eventually I will break down. Yeah. And it happened. And Andrea helped me realize, she was like, you see, it's because you put a lot on your plate at once and you're not focused on something. Pick something that you love, that you're passionate about.
Facts.
And focus and dial in on that one thing. And I was like, in the moment, like you said, I didn't want to hear that. I was like, nah, I got it. I'm good. I know I could deal with it. But the reality was I couldn't deal with it. And it was taking a toll on relationships, family relationships, all of that. And I wasn't seeing how I was acting. So how did I deal with that? I had to remove things that were not of like importance, right? Like I feel like we all want to make it, but sometimes we just try to do everything to be like, all right, maybe one of these things are gonna pop off. Like not focus on that one thing that God has placed in your heart that you're so passionate about. Like I don't have the same love for barbering like you do, and I can never, because that's something God place in your heart personally, right? And I can't love real estate like you. You can't do that either. We can't understand how the love and the time it takes to make a beat and then rap on it, and then because we don't have that love for it. But JoJo can do that. He can sit there for hours and do it.
Yeah.
You see, so everybody is different in the way, but if you focus on that one thing, it's really easy to look at everybody else and be like, nah, you know what? If he could do this, then I could do this. And then you're still chasing your passion because you're looking at other people and you're like, yo, he's doing this. But what if that person that's that one thing they're focusing on, and that's why they're so damn good at it?
Yeah.
You can't get like them because you got a 500 million things, but you're just like, okay, I want to do this. It's because you want it fast and you want it quick. That's why we try to do all these 101 different things, because we want it quick. Like, oh, how can I get there fast? How can I get there fast? Nah, forget about that.
And it's
and
that
I've done
feeling
that
too, though. You said like the not finishing something, and I always hear like with like little snippets of old people, and that's their biggest regret.
Wow.
Like
starting something, not finish it, or even
finishing it,
or not even starting it,
or not even starting it. Like and that's something like this year, I started getting into like martial arts because I always told myself like that's something I wanted to do, and like I'm noticing I'm getting into it, but I'm gonna have to start sacrificing a lot more different things.
Wow.
But I'm like, this is a part of my story. I've always told myself this is gonna be a part of my story. This is my discipline part of my story. So I'm like, I'm not gonna let that chapter go unwritten. It's not gonna be like, oh, I did it for 3 months and that's it.
Right.
Because he knows how I am, bro. If I get into something, I get obsessive.
Let's go.
I know everything. I know the history. I know everything. I know the top people. I know the top everything.
That's beautiful.
So and then when I try to do too much, I start leaving certain things behind. I'm like, nah.
You start cutting corners. Yeah. One of my mentors, his name is Andrew Kalor. He's also the crew leader at one of my church gatherings that we have every other Tuesday. Anyways, he asked me, he's like, what is the theme that you want to end the year with, but also start the next year? Because the next year starts today. The next year starts, you know what I mean? It's not something you can January 1st, I'm gonna leave it. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
You got to end the year like that. You got to start it like that. And one of my thing was be more intentional. Intentionality. Do everything with a purpose. Why am I doing this? Why am I making the decision? Why am I saying these certain words? It's intentional. It's with purpose. You know what I mean? And also having, like, for example, I'm like going back to, like, you know, dabbling into everything, right? I've done all that. I put my foot forward and I tried certain things, right? Bro, I was just so, like, you know, business minded. I was so obsessed with owning my own business that I wasn't even passionate for half of them.
Wow.
But it took a decision for me to actually put my head down and say, you know what, real estate is where it's at and real estate is where it's going to end. Whatever comes after that, but I'm mastering this thing first. This is where I'm going to start and this is what I'm going to finish. Yep. Anything else is all noise. This is what I'm focusing on this. So be more intentional with that type of stuff. You know, like be more intentional with starting the martial arts, but also finishing in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Doing the impact that you want at the end of the day.
So that's my theme.
And I think you should be impactful in anything you do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You know, I don't care if you have a part-time cleaning kitchens with someone. Be an impact in that group. Be somebody in that group. You know, I'm not saying take shine from other people, but be someone that maybe the person that's working there and they're like, oh, I don't love doing this, but you're in that room and you give them that little fire, like, nah, you know what, bro? My boy Cheech pulled out. Let's put this work in. Like, be that influence. Be, like you said, be purposeful. Like, don't just go in a room to fill space.
Yo, and to piggyback off of that, what you just said is so powerful because think about it. Like, whatever you're doing right now, right? You whatever job you're doing, let's say you hate the job and that's not your purpose, right? And you come to the job every day and you're kind of lazy and you're like, oh, why am I here? You know what? Give it 100% because when you do that, you're building character within yourself because that 100% is going to spill over in your relationships. It's going to spill over in your outside life, outside of work. If you give half of what you do at work, guess what? When you go into the studio, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to give half because that's what you've been accustomed to. That's the way that you've established yourself. That's the way that you disciplined yourself to be. And that's all you give is 50%. When in reality, if you give 100% in every area of your life and everything that you do, you can't, it'll be foreign to you when you start giving half. You know, you'll be like, this is not me. Nah.
And you don't ever know who's watching. You don't ever know. Like,
Right.
I've gotten compliments from people. I'm like, you were there? It feels like, yo, bro, I love the way you work. I always hear it. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even remember seeing you there. He's like, yeah, nah, I see you and I hear about you. I'm like, man, that's dope. Like, and one thing my boss always told me, he's like, you know you're doing something when other people can speak for you.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
When you can kind of just sit down and just, you got people behind your back, yo, he does this, he's the Bob, he's that. Like, that really shows your hard work and all that.
Wow. That's good. We need
Definitely does.
Honestly, that clap is for everything because this podcast is just absolutely amazing.
I agree.
Just like Diego. Diego, you're amazing.
Thank
you're
you, bro.
amazing. You're amazing. No, you're amazing. You're amazing. That's all I said. You're amazing. I didn't say to turn it off. I said you're amazing.
Fixing it.
Oh,
He needs to be in the next one.
yes.
Diego definitely got some gems.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's always the quiet ones.
Oh, 100%. What is that saying that I've been saying a lot lately? The emptiest can is the loudest can.
Yeah. Go bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
That's a fact. I never thought about that.
Yeah, the empty, you know what I mean? The emptiest can is the loudest can.
That's a
When
fact.
you're full of stuff, you ain't gonna hear nothing that you ain't supposed to hear.
I like that.
Old head said that in the shop.
Listen, guys, we talked about a lot. It's my favorite part is what everybody here is listening to that you guys are going to bless them with. Anybody who's listening, what is it that you have to say to them? Anything that's on your heart right now. Let's start with Joseph and then go this way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to repeat myself what I said last podcast.
Hey, maybe if that's on your
A
heart.
new gem. You got more gems.
I really don't. I'm still learning. I'm young.
So speak on that.
I'm taking. Well, yeah. So for the
Well,
people,
you know what you should do? Speak on what you're working on right now, like personally.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off like this. So for the people that are like around my age, one thing I'm gonna just tell y'all guys is just don't give up. Like, everybody has a talent, and that's a fact. Whether it be you wanted to be a doctor, surgeon, and like I said, barber, real estate, whatever it is, bro. Just set your mind to it, but put God first, you know. And like, even if y'all don't believe in a higher power, damn, I don't know what I was gonna say about that. Yeah, nah, you gotta cut this out.
No, natural, baby. Listen, I know exactly what you're trying to say. You know, even if you don't believe, right? Give 100%.
Yeah.
Give 100% in whatever it is. Like JoJo said, being a doctor, whatever it is that you're passionate about, give 100%.
Give faith to your vision.
Yeah. Believe in yourself when nobody else does.
Yes. Even if you don't believe in God, just know He believes in you.
Okay? Yeah.
I don't want to steal your words, but do you want to say anything else?
Nah, that's it. Just keep on going. Don't give up. You know, you can have one bad day, but the rest gonna be good.
Mm-hmm. Don't reign forever. Cheech?
Next. So for everyone watching, I want you to always remind yourself that you are enough, you are loved, you are cared about. People are watching you. So give your best every day. On the rainy days, on the days that it's raining way too hard, on the days where things just doesn't make sense, look at yourself, say I love you, because other people definitely feel like that about you. We're not perfect. We're not built to be perfect. So keep your head above the water, because you're always going to get dragged down. You got people above water looking for you, so always keep that. That's it for me.
I like that.
I
You
do.
gotta
I
cut
like
me
that.
out.
When you can't show up for yourself, show up for others.
Yep.
That's a fact. Piece of advice. I mean, I want to share what I'm working on right now, and it's doing things with intentionally, with more purpose, and having a clear why as to why I'm doing certain things that I'm doing, but also have a plan. Be more organized with your time, and really learn to steward your time a little bit better. And that means time blocking. Basically what that is basically set a time aside for what is it, just, between 8 and 9 to go edit some videos, between 9 and 10 to go to the gym, between 10 and 11 to read a Bible, or read a book, like little stuff like that. Just pour more into yourself. 'Cause back to what she said, there's other people that you need to pour into.
Mm-hmm.
And dreams do come true.
Indeed, they do. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the Wolf, Cheech, JDNERO. Thank you for listening. And what I got to say is, I don't really say this, but hey, subscribe, like, comment, share.
That.
Yes.
All of it.
All of it.
Subscribe.
Get in the comments, man. Get in the comments for sure.
And share and share your thoughts too. Like, what are like some things that you would want to be talked about in the podcast?
Right.
Anything. You feel me? Just lay your thoughts down.
Yes.
Lay thoughts, stories. If something you heard that you connect to, don't be scared to throw your little, hey, I remembered something like this happened.
Yeah.
We're going to love all that interaction.
That's right. Everybody has a story to tell, whether we whisper or yell. We out. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you subscribe for future episodes and feel free to rate and review. For more information and ways to support, check out our website at abreathwithbrefo.com.